Greetings from Greyhound Land. I'm Doc Elder, the voice of Eastern New Mexico University Athletics. It's my privilege to be the host of Basketball Media Day. I've got Tres Segler, the head basketball coach for Greyhound men. And Coach, third year as the head coach. Does it seem possible?
It's gone by fast, Doc. It almost doesn't seem possible, but we're glad we're here. You know, I think, as we've always talked about, I think, you know, we've built something we're proud of. The process is still going, but I'm really excited about what we've got in store, you know, for the conference and for Greyhound Nation, and we couldn't be prouder about who we are.
First year, we don't make the Lone Star Conference. Second year, we do. That's a pretty steep learning curve.
Yes, sir. You know, and all my mentors, you know, my coaching buddies, my family, you know, even my father, you know, they just talked about, you know, how difficult a league this is to come into, and they believed in me, I believed in myself, but, you know, the people that were really in the know, you know, gave me a lot of grace. And at first I didn't want to hear that. You know, I wanted to hear that we were going to come in here and take this thing by storm and take over right away. But again, wisdom, you know, prevails. And now that I'm in year 3, I see what they were talking about. And so much respect of the coaching staffs and the great players in this league. And so, but yes, sir, you know, to make the tournament last year was a huge turnaround and a huge sticking point for our family. And I think as these guys put a lot of hard work in, you know, I think that's a great place to jump off from now.
What are the similarities in the two teams that were preceding this year and the team that you've seen this year? What's going to be the big difference between this year and the 2 years that preceded?
That's a great question. I think similarities, it all builds from what we're trying to do. We're trying to be a team that defensively is as tough as any in the country. But, you know, I like to have long, athletic guys that can do multiple things. I think similar, we're that, and this year we've even grown a bunch. We have a lot more size this year on the rim, but even those guys that have size are multi-skill guys. They're not stiff forwards that can't do things. They can shoot, dribble, and pass. You know, the differences, though, with this team, I think, is that, you know, and these guys will tell you here in a second, you know, our leadership as seniors has been great. Maurice Coleman, Arkeem Lalaman, Zach Parker, you know, Nick Brown, and then we bring in Chu Amelia as a senior transfer from Division I, and those guys have really taken hold of the leadership in a way that the past two teams, you got some of it, but this team is perfecting it, and part of it's because they've had some time to watch and learn a little bit, and so our strength is coming from our leadership, and I think anytime you have a player-led ball club, you have a chance to be great, and I think that's what we've got going right now. It's a team that likes to come out and work. I'm not having to work every day to get them moving and active. They do that on their own. And I think that speaks of their love to the game and their love of the brotherhood they're building. So obviously some similarities, some differences, but I think when it all comes down to it, Doc, we're really excited about what we've got. And I think everybody is. I think the league is going to be wonderful once again. So many great recruiters and so many great staff. So we're excited.
Well, Coach, you were nice enough to bring in 2 of your standout basketball players, and we already mentioned one of them, Maurice Coleman, better known to his friends and associates as Mo. And Mo, you were recruited from community college to come play for Eastern. What was the big selling point that got you here to Eastern?
The biggest selling point was I seen Coach's vision and what he wanted to do here at this school. A lot of other schools are trying to, like, you know, get me to come there through a lot of materialistic things and what the city can bring, and I just seen Coach's vision and what he was going to do here, and I just followed him and believed in what he had in store for me.
What was the biggest adjustment going from community college basketball to Division II, or was it pretty much of a similar game?
Far as league-wise, I was in a tough league in Division in JUCO. So far as league-wise, I was in a tough league there, and then this year, like Coach said, any team top to bottom can come out with the win. So far as league-wise, I was always in a tough position. But Division II basketball it seems a little bit more faster, and you have to learn the game and slow it down and really think it through, and that's pretty much the biggest change.
Well, Tres, we'll give you the last word. When will we get to see the Greyhound basketball team in action, non-conference-wise? When's the first time we'll get a chance to see you playing conference basketball?
So I believe our first game we kick off, we're really blessed, man. You know, University of New Mexico does a classic with us there at the pit. You know, we'll have Fort Lewis first on November 9th. New Mexico Highlands, and again, 2 unbelievable programs. You know, obviously one from, you know, Colorado, but obviously one from New Mexico. You know, two great programs to start the year off. And I think our first home game here is our first conference game. I think it's that Midwestern Cameron swing. I believe it's like November 30th.
All right, well, that is going to wrap up the look at Greyhound basketball on this media day. So as I usually sign off, I'll say this is Doc Elder saying, so long.